Hi everyone, welcome back. We are doing a question and answer video today. So we had you guys comment or send us some private messages. So we're just gonna jump right in. So our first question is, what is your favorite full coverage foundation? So with some of these, I'll just answer mine and then Scotty can answer hers so you can kind of see what both of ours is. So mine for sure is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. It's not one that you would want to wear every single day, but if you have a really big event coming up or like a wedding, I wore it for my wedding and it literally stays on all day long. If you even just watch it on the back of your hand, you will see it like does not come off. It's waterproof, everything. So I would definitely say Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, by far my favorite.
I use the MAC Pro Longwear, I think is what it is. I use that. I got it for a wedding, for her wedding actually. I got that and I use that for my full foundation coverage days that I want to do that. Or I use the Makeup Forever HD Stick Foundation.
Ooh, the stick foundation. Yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
I really like it.
Okay, do you use powder foundations or do you recommend powder foundations?
So I don't use powder foundations. I use the MAC Mineralizing Finish powder to set my foundation, but I don't just use that strictly as my foundation. I used to, and I was like a lot younger, just getting into makeup I did, but now I don't.
What are your favorite blushes and how do I know what color to use?
So I don't wear blush because I have some red undertones on my cheeks anyway, so I will let you take that one.
I do wear blush. I think for me, I look very dull and just like I'm sick if I don't have blushes on. So I do wear blush. I personally really like the NYX blushes, and I really like, it's called Milani, and I think you can get it at is it CVS or Walgreens? It's only like
CVS.
CVS. They have really pretty colors, and they're not too they're not ones that you put on your brush and then it like looks like you have clown face. Yeah, so those are definitely probably my two favorites. Any tips on hiding large pores?
Primers will help with that.
Yes.
I've used I think it's the Benefit Blur or something like that. I got like a sample sized of it, and it really does like blur your pores.
Yeah.
So for that's what I use for makeup wise. But other than that, like using your...
Yeah, I use the Makeup Forever primer, and I can't remember what step it is. There's they have like step 1, step 2, and it's not meant for you to use it as like a step 1 and step 2. It's more of just like the name of them. But mine, I use it just in my like T area, and I think that helps a lot. And then really my other tips besides just like covering them up with makeup is like to use I use like a Clarisonic, which I haven't been using it lately, but I feel like that makes a big difference, and just taking care of your skin really is what's going to help. This is kind of a question, kind of not. It's talking about if they have wrinkles around their eyes or like the smile lines, how do you keep your makeup from like setting in your wrinkles? And this is one, of course, I've started noticing now that I'm past the mid-20s mark, and I definitely think you don't want to cake on makeup wherever you have those wrinkles. So I learned this trick just a couple weeks ago. Like this area right here and right around here, like if you're going to be putting concealer on those areas too, don't also put foundation on there. So you can kind of just put the foundation, just work it in, but don't put a lot right there. And you're just going to be putting a little bit of concealer. And then you're definitely going to want to set your foundation with a powder. It doesn't need to be a heavy foundation powder, but just like a translucent or like I use the Kat Von D Lock palette, but you don't want to put a lot on there. Just try to keep it as basic as you can. And then of course the primer helps just blur everything and it'll keep everything in place.
If you use a small brush to apply or like really like get in there and blend, I use it for my under eye, like right where my eye is, I have like creasing. So I use a I do my concealer and then I use a small brush to like really work it into those creases that I have so that it really gets in there and sets, and then I'll use a setting powder as well. But if you use a small brush, it kind of helps you get in the fine lines of things.
Yeah. What are your favorite face masks, and why do you like the ones that you do? Are they worth the money?
So I used the Glam Glow. I talked about that in our first video, I think. The Super Mud mask. It's supposed to be for the clarifying everything, and I really liked it. I used it for a spot treatment. I never really did it all over face because it can be really drying, but for spot treatment I really liked that. I just recently started using tea tree oil. I know it's kind of like a thing people are doing now, so I got it from like Marshall's. It's like a $5 cheap thing, and I haven't had any complaints with it yet. I will let you know, but I've been using the tea tree for spot treatment now, and it's like just like the concentrated tea tree oil. Take it on a Q-tip and then put it on there, and then put some water on it to dilute it a little bit, and I put it for spot treatment. So it's not really like a mask or anything like that, but I use that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My favorite one for spot treatment is, and just if you have like a lot of texture, which I let my sister borrow and I've never gotten it back, so I mean it's good. But it's by Lush, and it's the Magna Minty, and so it has like really minty smell to it. And all of Lush, their stuff is like they make it out of just like natural things, so you could actually eat it if you wanted to. Like I've not eaten it personally, but it does smell really good. But if it accidentally gets in your mouth, that's okay. And but I love it for spot treatment, or if, like I said, if I've been wearing makeup a lot and I feel like my skin kind of has texture, like on a Sunday, I'll just like keep it on for like 30 minutes or as long as I want to while I take a bath or something, and I love it. What's your favorite primer?
Okay, so I use a drugstore one because I don't use primers that much, but as I'm getting older I do, and especially if I'm going for a full faced look, I will use a primer. And it's so dirty, but this one I'm using the Rimmel London, the Stay Matte one, and I mean for a drugstore I don't have any problems with it, and it seems to work well, and it blurs my pores, which we were talking about earlier, which is nice. So I use that for whatever I'm needing it for. I don't have really any pricier ones, but this is the one I talked about that I use in my T-zone. I use the Makeup Forever, and I highly recommend it. I've had it for over a year, and it's like not even half gone, because you don't have to use very much because it just goes on really smooth, and you don't use a lot of it anyway because it's not your foundation. So I really like that one, and I think it's worth the money too because it does last so long. Put your primer on however you want, but I do put mine on with my fingers. I do too.
So do. And I like really work it in because that's what you kind of want.
And
to
I
do.
like pat it.
Yeah.
And so it gets in my pores.
Yeah. Get it nice in there.
Yep.
Okay. So we got asked about our skincare routine, which both of us are pretty guilty. We don't. I have things that I do every day, but I don't have like specific products that I'm like live or die by. Like I have to use this. I do really like my Clarisonic. I don't know, for someone who, I just feel like my skin can handle a lot. The Clarisonic is kind of rough though.
I have it. I stopped using it because I got it this last in like June, I think. I got it for my birthday, and I just noticed it like really made me break out, and I used it even throughout that because I know that like through that first period when you use it, it's like a shock to your skin, so it's kind of rough, and it also like tries to get in there and remove anything you have. But for me, it just like made me break out a lot, and I don't know, I wouldn't say my skin's sensitive, but for some reason it never adjusted to it very well, and so I don't use it anymore. But
yes, and like I was a lifeguard, so I have like sunspots, and so I was using it like really religiously for a long time, and I do feel like it helped, and it's supposed to help with like wrinkles and stuff. So I probably need to get back on using it pretty religiously, but I do really like that. And then face masks. We do face masks a lot. I just think it helps. Like you can buy them however you want. Like even you can go to Ulta and just buy, like they'll have a wall of them, and or even Sephora, anywhere, and you can buy them for specific things. So like if it's going to be like my woman time of the month, I always know that I break out. So I'll like stock up kind of beforehand and just get like some that are supposed to help with clarifying and like deep, you know, get it all in there. Yeah. And so I'll like know that during that week and before I'm gonna kind of prep my skin for that. Or if it's a dry time of the year, I will get the hydrating ones. And I just think that they help a lot.
And honestly, I know some of them can be kind of pricey. So I just like will go to random stores and just get the cheapy, like,
yeah, like even TJ Maxx.
Yeah, TJ Maxx always has good ones.
Yeah.
And if your skin isn't that sensitive, it can handle like any of those masks. And I think obviously the high dollar ones are nice, but if you can get anything on your skin, doing any prep
it's still
work,
extra than you were.
Yeah.
And so, other than that, I'm sorry we failed you on skincare routine.
Really
we'll try to step up our game though.
I need to though.
I do too. It is so important.
I'm just lazy. I admit to that.
And skincare is just so expensive.
Like,
man. Okay, I guess the makeup we buy is expensive too, so we shouldn't use it as an excuse, but I just need someone to sit me down and say, this is what you need for your skin type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a dermatologist.
Like a dermatologist, and, well,
we should go to that.
Yeah, we should. Favorite beauty products right now? Oh my.
Oh, I can't.
This could get...
There's so many. I don't know. So can't live without it right now. It's got to be True Match L'Oreal True Match foundation.
Same.
That's just my go-to foundation. I'd rather have foundation than anything else. So,
and so I definitely say that my beauty blender for sure. I saw them at Walmart now, so no one has an excuse to not have it. Like, you need to go get it.
It's very inexpensive too,
and it's just so great. I use the L'Oreal Carbon Black mascara. The Luminous.
Yeah,
that I don't like any other mascara. I guess the only one I like. My Kat Von D. These are all things that we've already talked about, so I feel like we are not helping you out very much right now on this, but we have said a million times that we liked it all, so you guys should probably all try it. Yeah. Because the True Match, I mean, it's actually wonderful. As awesome as we say it is. Yes. So, tips for spray tans. Whether you're girls.
So, I've had the worst spray tans, I've had the best spray tans, I've had all of it, because it's just...
Like the Friends episode where Ross is in the thing and he says, like...
he sprays
like 15 times on one side. Yeah, like, that's actually happened.
I've totally actually done that. I've sprayed my front twice one time, and I, like, came out, and I was just like, what just happened? I have no idea. And I already spent, like, $25 on it, so I'm like, okay, done.
Gotta go.
So, I don't... both of us, we really don't go in to get spray tans anymore unless it's a hand sprayer that we go to Miranda for, and those
the color is so good that she does. She is not awkward to be in front of at all.
No, she's so funny.
And she gets you, like, you know when you go in and you get all sticky? Well, she will sit there and has a dryer, and she will literally sit there and dry you until you are not sticky at all, so you can walk out of there and, like, go to dinner if you want to. Yeah. So, and it looks so smooth.
Yeah. And within, like, a day, you look like a...
Like, you've been sitting on the Caribbean for like a month. Like, it's amazing.
And so, other than that, like, for at-home spray tans, we both use the...
Fake Bake.
Fake Bake.
Darker.
Oh.
It is so good. I've tried so many different ones. I've tried, like, the Saint Tropez, or however you say it.
I don't know if it's
even the Loving Tan that everyone like raves about. Yeah. I did not like it. It didn't stay on it didn't stay very long.
I didn't use that one. I tried the $1 million tan.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, it was like really choppy for me, and it came off like quickly, and when it did come off, it was like super splotchy, which I hate that, because I will use this I used it like last week. Mm-hmm. I'll use it like 2 days in a row, and it looks natural, very natural and stuff. And when it starts coming off, you don't really notice it like being really
splotchy. It's really the only way. Like when it starts wearing off in different spots, and like it's very even.
Yeah.
And so our tips as far as like applying, if you're going to someone to get a spray tan, they tell you to of course shower, shave, and exfoliate. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to want to do is, I don't always exfoliate with beads. But you can do that, of course, and then otherwise just make sure you're using like a loofah, and of course shaving, and don't put on deodorants, don't put on any lotions. I've seen a few videos lately that people are putting on lotions now before like over their entire body, and I'm like,
I don't.
How does that work?
So it just absorb into that.
Yeah. So don't do any of that. You just go, and then of course from then on they'll tell you what to do. If you're doing them out at home by yourself, you're gonna of course want to do the same process. But then if I don't know, the hands are always like my thing that I'm like
and
weird about.
You always do that, so it's really noticeable when you do have it in your like knuckles where your creases are and stuff. So it can kind of get in there because that's just where the dry areas are, so it'll absorb in there. But honestly, with that,
because you get a mitten, so like when I do it, I like get my mitten like drenched because I want a lot of color payoff. So I will do like my whole arm, and I'll like rub it all, and then when it's like almost like I can tell like the product is almost off but there's still a little bit on there, that's when I'll go back to my hand and I'll start working it like down my wrist, and then I'll just do like a swipe kind of over each finger, and then just kind of like act like you're buffing it out pretty much. So you're just gonna kind of like blend a little bit, and then don't get any water on your hands though. Last week I had one little trickle of water, and I had this weird like thing down my hand. But then I don't spray tan my face.
I do. And I do the same thing where I'll do my whole body, and then when I know there's some on my mitten still, I don't do it like here obviously, but I do it like on the outsides of my face, like mainly where I'd put like bronzer.
Yeah.
I do it with left, but I would never like spray the mitt and then put it on because it'll just be too much.
It always seems like even if you think like, okay, I'm gonna go exactly where I want to go with this, it still like will come off a little bit weird. So I would never respray. Just kind of go straight from like one thing when it's still of course damp, but don't add any extra.
Yeah, and do you spray the mitt and then put it on, or do you spray your body and then rub it in?
I put it on the mitt.
And I do the opposite. I spray it on my body and then rub it in. So honestly,
I like drench the mitt, and then I just do like my thigh, and I will like, I mean that thing is like drenched because I want like a lot of tan.
And then I just spray the crap out of whatever I'm on my whole body pretty much. And I do like sections at a time, obviously. So
same.
Do one leg, and the next. Don't try to like, which for me, since I do spray it on my body, don't like spray it everywhere and let it sit and then work it all in, because then you'll get really concentrated areas wherever you spray it. So honestly, spray tans are just trial and error for all of it.
The spray tans are so amazing because they will instantly make you feel like you lost 10 pounds, first of all.
That's what I do.
So it's very necessary. And then, of course, you don't have to go spend money on a tanning bed or anything like that. Tanning is bad for you.
Not a ton.
And so it's just like an instant like beauty trick that literally makes you feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
And like I spray tan, like we all spray tanned for my wedding, and it was hilarious. We were all like in the hotel room, and we were all like just dousing ourselves in like all of this spray tan, and it like didn't get on my wedding dress, like nothing like that. So I even did it for stuff like that, and we do it during the summer. I mean,
even like if you're gonna be in the water, for sure that at least that one that we use is really good. It doesn't like come off.
Nope.
It's not like you're gonna get in the water and then it's just gonna start like melting off of you. So find you a good one, stick with it, and you'll learn all your tricks, how it works for your body.
This is just probably a joke question. I don't really know, but Michelle Bowe asked if we do make house calls, and we don't. Well, we do. And I know that you're just joking, Michelle, but if anyone is interested in us like coming to your house or meeting with you, we would love to, or just like text or call us, because we've had a bunch of people recently been texting us about like certain things for their skin type, or they'll ask us just like how they apply certain things. So and if we don't know, we of course, I mean, we watch YouTube videos daily. Like I watch at least 2 YouTube videos a day. So we're constantly learning new stuff. So that would be something we like to learn about too. So and we would love to learn along with you guys. So we can make house calls. Yes, Michelle. I mean, I'm a girlfriend. Okay.
You probably want her.
No,
I'll just stay in the background and just say
no. But yes, we have had people inquire about prom makeup, and yes, we are doing prom makeup, and like we're actually doing people's makeup for prom. But we can also do some prom makeup on here, like on ourselves. If some of you, I'm kind of a control freak, and I like to do my own makeup for big events. So if you're one of those people, then if you just need some inspiration, we'll try to hit you up with some inspiration, and you can do it yourself. So yeah, but this was fun. We hope that you learned a little bit more about us.
We'll do like another one later. That's more like
in like our personal lives.